Welcome to our April 2025 sales meeting. Lots of interesting stuff to cover today. As always, I like to remind everybody, knowledge is not power, execution is power. So since you are taking an hour of your day today to catch up on what's happening at LAER, what's happening in the market, make sure you have a pen and paper available because we want to make sure that you execute, because that's where the true power is. So let's dig into some of the exciting announcements. First, we want to welcome several agents that joined since our last meeting. Greg Hickox of Burlington, Diana Larrabee is a returning agent. Very excited to have Diana back. Lindsay LaFawn in our Wellington office, Justin Hamill, Northborough. Welcome to David Dowd in our West Yarmouth office, Peter Schlosser in Hollowell, Casey Norton, Athol, Zach, I'm not even going to try that. I'm going to say Zach Wash, Templeton, and welcome to Charlie Skin Sakos. I would be super excited just to have these amazing real estate agents join us. But in addition to that, we have about 42 other real estate agents who joined us this month as LAER, very exciting, partnered with Harriman Real Estate out of Wallingford, Connecticut. So this means that we have more than 40 agents in the Connecticut market that can assist buyers, sellers, etc. This will be a fully operating LAER location in Wallingford. So we are very excited. We've had our hands full onboarding all of these awesome agents. So I want to offer a super warm welcome to our new family members in Wallingford. Okay, let's take a look at our March 2025 sales numbers. Interestingly, March was our year-over-year numbers were really good. It felt like a slow start to the year, and I think it is a little bit slow, but our year-over-year numbers improved for the month of March. So in March, our company closed 216 transactions at $100.6 million in volume. So that is a really nice way to kind of head into spring. Plus, we did 32 rentals on top of that. Let's take a look at how this breaks down. So this is always based on where the agent is located. So our Massachusetts-based agents did 151 sales at 82 million. Our New Hampshire agents who are based in New Hampshire offices did 11 sales at 5.2 million. Maine, 24 sales at 3.7 million, and Florida, 30 sales at 9 million. This is for the month of March. Let's take a look at our top agents. Top 5 for March. This is Massachusetts teams by volume. Congratulations to Team Energy, Page and Company, Janet Cram, Rogers Mello, and the North Star Group. Congratulations. Next are top 5 agents by volume. This is individual agents. So congratulations to Matt Winterly. By the way, Matt had almost a record, not quite a record. We've had a couple higher, but congratulations to Matt, who closed on a $7 million property in Boston in March. That's a pretty big deal. It was his listing. So congratulations to Matt. Also, congratulations to Paul Roulette, Spiros Skinsakos, Corey Gracie, and Brenda Albert. Top 5 Massachusetts teams by units closed. We have Team Energy, the North Star Group, Janet Cram team, Rogers Mello team, and O'Connell and Company. And top 5 for March, this is individual agents for Massachusetts, Paul Roulette, Corey Gracie, Brenda Albert, Vicky Paquette, and Brianna Lacouture. Let's take a look at our Maine agents. So Maine agents by volume. Number 1, Chris Valley. 2, Maria Kempton. 3, Julian Harwood. Number 4, Nick Whiston. And 5, Ralph Ingraham. We call him Bud. So congratulations. And top Maine agents by unit sold. Congratulations to Julian, then Chris Valley, Maria Kempton, Ralph Ingraham, and Nick Whiston. Congratulations. This is top 5 for New Hampshire. This is both for volume and units. So congratulations goes to Platinum Realty Group, Fulford Group, the Newman Group, Angela Lozier, and Karen Pelletier. And then let's take a look at our top Florida agents. This is top 10 Florida agents and teams by volume. Congratulations to the Gesualdo team, Tanya McClendon, John Slavon, Pedraza team, Team Rebello, Don Forrester, Mila Snyder, Beth Grady, Jana Zadespinner, and Larry Moffett. Also, our top 10 for Florida agents and teams by unit sold. Congratulations to Gesualdo team, Tanya McClendon, Team Rebello, John Slavon, the Pedraza team, Don Forrester, Mila Snyder, Roberto Ferrer, Beth Grady, and Janice Zadespinner. Congratulations. By the way, we will be emailing everybody the top 25 company overall. So if you were listed on one of these updates, or if you're on our top 25 by volume, our top 25 by units overall, we do send out an email this afternoon, and you'll find some great social media pieces. So make sure you take those pieces and share them and do a humble brag on social media. Let's take a look at our year-over-year numbers from 2024. So March of 2025, we did 100,216 sides. March 2024, we did 177 sides at $86 million. So where we stand year to date as compared to last year is slightly higher than where we were last year. So at this time last year, through the end of March, we were at 529 closings. This year, we're at 550 closings. Last year at this time, we were at 253 million in closings. This year, we're at 268 million in closings. So slightly higher than where we were. Okay, I want to talk for a few minutes because, first of all, some of you may know I was basically had no access to social media for 30 days recently. And boy, if you haven't done that, if you haven't like just taken a hiatus from social media, try it. It literally feels like a vacation because you don't know anything that's going on in the world and it feels good. So I finally got back my social media account. A hacker had taken it and it took 30 days of uploading my license and my passport and proving who I was to social media to finally get back on. So literally, I just got back on to social media. But everywhere you look, of course, there's just so much happening in the world right now, not just like the political climate, but like the stock market and stuff like that. And it causes anxiousness and fear and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about where the opportunities lie in everything that is going on. And by the way, this isn't just social media. Turn on the news. I mean, between what's happening on the news, you see it on social media. If you're on Google, all you're seeing is information like stuff's happening in the world. There's tariffs, there's stock market crashes, there's things like this. I think there's a massive amount of opportunity. First of all, there's always opportunity, regardless of what's happening. So here's my message. We can't control anything that's happening out in the outside world, but we can seize on opportunity. So I wanted to just spend a few minutes talking about what happens with the things that are happening. How does it actually impact the real estate market? So does a stock market drop equal lower mortgage rates? Well, I what we've seen in the last week is mortgage rates have come down significantly. But here's exactly how it happens. And the only reason I'm explaining this, and we actually created a document that explains it, because we need to be really good at explaining all of this to consumers, because everything that is happening is affecting the real estate market. So it's potentially going to cause a buildup in inventory, which we are beginning to see in some markets. We've seen that for quite some time, like Florida. We've had a buildup in inventory for a while, but now we're seeing it in all the markets. So what it means is a buildup in inventory, which may potentially mean, I think in many of our markets, there's still enough demand that we're absorbing the new properties that come on the market, but that's not going to continue forever, perhaps. So let's just talk about what happens, and then you can refer back to the document we created. And we created the document so that you could better explain to buyers and sellers what is going on. There is an opportunity right this minute. The opportunity is that sellers, in my opinion, should not be waiting to put their house on the market. The longer they wait, there is a risk that their value may drop. As well, buyers shouldn't wait, because there is great opportunity right now with lower interest rates, etc. So let's talk about what's happening. Investors seek safety. So when there are major stock market drops in general, investors move their money into a safer asset like a US Treasury bond. So increased demand for the bonds drives the bond prices up and the yields down. So bond prices and yields move inversely. Mortgage rates then end up following. Mortgage rates are closely tied to the 10-year Treasury yield. So when yields drop, mortgage rates usually fall too. And that is why, as we've seen the shift in the stock market, a significant shift in the stock market over the last 10 days, we've also seen a significant shift in the interest rates. Now, if a declining market signals a broader slowdown, which we don't know yet, but it could be coming, if a declining market signals a broader slowdown, such as unemployment rates going up, etc., which is possible, the Federal Reserve may also cut rates or maintain low policy rates to stimulate borrowing and economic activity, which helps keep our mortgage rates lower. I don't think we're ever going to see the mortgage rates like we saw a few years ago in the 2s and 3s, but at least we're getting rates in the 6s. So most likely, if we continue to see the shifts in the stock market, those interest rates will remain stable and perhaps continue to go down. So what does all of this mean for the housing market? Well, if mortgage rates go down, even amid economic uncertainty, affordability improves, because lower rates reduce monthly payments and they make homeownership more accessible. So this is a silver lining for the buyers we've had that have been sitting on the fence for a really long time, because they started their shopping when the rates were 3%. Also, what happens when the rates come down? Buyers re-enter the market. Some buyers on the sidelines may jump back into a lower rate. And by the way, sellers re-enter the market as well. How many sellers would like to move but can't move because of their extremely low interest rate? And by the way, what also ends up happening as the interest rates lower is refinance activity increases. So homeowners can refinance and free up cash to lower monthly obligations, which stimulate consumer spending. Now, here's the catch. Even with lower rates, if the economy weakens significantly, like job losses or declining consumer confidence, people could hold off on big purchases like a home. Also, lenders tend to tighten credit standards during uncertain times, which makes it harder to qualify, even with those tempting interest rates. So it's not all great news. So we created a document here to first of all explain what the stock market shifts mean for mortgage rates so that you have a document that you can explain it to both buyers and sellers, because all of this affects both. Of course, the lower interest rates help buyers buy, and sellers sell, because the reason for inventory shortages over the last 3 years has been people stuck in their properties because they didn't want to go from a 3% interest rate to a 7.7 interest rate. So all of this means that we are probably on the precipice of rising inventory and buyers coming back into the market. So first of all, just to reiterate, what we're already seeing in every single market is year over year increases in inventory. So in every single market that we do business in, we are seeing year over year increases in the number of properties available for sale. So what does that mean for a seller? Well, as that inventory builds up, that is going to mean some sellers aren't going to be able to sell their property at the price they wish they could sell it at. Here's the Massachusetts numbers. So year over year, there's an 8% increase in the number of new properties that are coming on the market. In Massachusetts, we're still absorbing, we still have the effects of a shortage. So we're still seeing an increase in the number of sold properties right now. I think this is super interesting in Massachusetts that year over year, there's a 16% increase in price changes. And year over year, there's a 6% increase in the number of active properties. Now, in Massachusetts, the average sale price is still going up. But again, I think we're still absorbing from the shortages that we had for such a long time in inventory. So average days on market for sold properties are also increasing. So Maine, same thing. We're seeing year over year increases in the number of new properties that are hitting the market and active properties. This is Maine overall. I'm going to talk about market reports in general in a few minutes because it's going to be really important that you start to dig into and learn where to pull market reports and how to read them. Active properties are up year over year in Maine. So again, a building up of inventory. Maine also has an increase in price changes. So we're seeing increase in price changes in every market. New Hampshire, same thing. Increase in price changes, an increase in inventory, an increase in new properties hitting the market as compared to this time last year. Let's take a look at Connecticut. Same thing. We see an increase in the number of price changes, an increase in new properties hitting the market year over year, and an increase in the number of active properties available in the Connecticut market. Palm Beach County. By the way, for Palm Beach County, it's such a big marketplace that I limited the search to properties under 500,000. When you're creating your market reports, the more specific you can get in creating your market report, the more accurate it's going to be. In Palm Beach County, there's a lot of multi-million dollar properties. So if I pulled this report for Palm Beach County with every property, it's going to be skewed results for the customers we're speaking to, which is typically buyers and sellers under 500,000. So when we look at Palm Beach County, just for properties under 500,000, we're seeing the same thing we see in the other markets. There's a increase in price changes. There is an increase in new properties hitting the market as compared to this time last year. And there is an increase in active properties. Same, ooh, hold on, this says Palm Beach, but this one's Martin County. I forgot to change the piece at the top. Martin County, same thing. Increase in price changes, increase in the number of new properties and active properties. Oh, there's Martin County. Okay. So same thing, increase in price changes. I thought it was really interesting. There's a huge increase on days on market for Martin County, although in Martin County, there's a significant amount of new construction that skews the numbers as well. But also there's an increase in active properties. So where do you guys gather market data? I pulled these reports from the LAER Realty website. So you can go to LAER Realty and scroll to the bottom and pick a state, and you can narrow the searches pretty well. By the way, when you do that, if you notice, I tried to pull a market report just for Port St. Lucie, and the report showed nothing. So if you go to the LAER Realty site and you scroll down and you're trying to pull a market report for somewhere, please, if you see something that doesn't look accurate, just email us at Happy Agent. For the one for Port St. Lucie, it was not accurate. So we are reaching out to Boston Logic to find why that would happen. But also lean into your MLS or your board. In some cases, the MLS and the board are the same, because they often have really good market data. Showing time, when you log in, shows showing trends within the markets. Also, RPR, Realtor Property Resource, pulls really good data for market reports. But it's going to be, this year is going to be different than last year. I believe we're shifting into more of a buyer's market. So a couple things I want to say, and I'll make it super quick because I know we have a guest speaker for today. Let me stop sharing for 1 minute. The good thing about real estate is I've been a mortgage real estate broker for now 25 years, and I've seen every market. I started in the 1990s, which when that was a recession when I started in the business. So I've seen every type of market over the years. And what I will tell you, I've never experienced no market, except I will say we might have had no market for a very short time right after 9/11. Things really stopped for a short period. But other than that, there's always a market. There is always a buyer market or a seller's market. I say we're like, if you have to choose a business to be in, you want to be a nurse or a doctor because there's always sick people, a hairdresser because people always care about what their hair looks like, or a real estate agent because people are always going to be buying and selling real estate. So there is always a market for us. It's just sometimes it's going to be a buyer's market and sometimes it's going to be a seller's market. I believe we're heading into more of a buyer's market over the next couple of years. And the reason this is important is because it's a totally different way of doing business than we've done for literally the last 10 years. We have kind of had a seller's market for a really long time. So it's going to mean we have to pivot a little bit in the way we do business. Interestingly, I shortened this because we don't have a lot of time to go over everything. But interestingly, this presentation is one that may look familiar to you because I did it last year as we were heading into the changes with the National Association of Realtors, which freaked people out. It freaked out real estate agents. So if you're freaking out about everything you see on the news and what you see when you log on to social media, first, I'll tell you, stop looking because you can't change it. However, you have to be able to articulate and talk about it with buyers and sellers. So we have to learn to deal with the uncertainty. The good news is, think about how freaked out many of you were 1 year ago as we were preparing for changes in our industry. And you came out on the other side, and many of you are even busier than you were before the changes. Like nothing significantly changed your business. So think about all the worry and anxiety and energy that you took worrying about something that you could not control. And that ended up being totally okay in the end, anyways. That's what we're facing right now. Uncertainty, you have to be able to manage uncertainty. And it's what's going on in your head and your heart and your gut as you strive to build an amazing life. So, when you're considering what your next move is, you have to think about like, what are the little gremlins saying in your head, and how do you get rid of those gremlins? Your genius is always born out of uncertainty. So, all the best things in life come out of uncertainty. They don't come out of doing the same thing every single day. They come out of like really just embracing the ambiguity and uncertainty of the world. So, ambiguity in the beginning and during changes such as the market, your success is tied to your tolerance for ambiguity. Living in ambiguity, it causes anxiety, fear, suffering, and pain. And people don't like pain. Rather than lean into it, they do everything possible to kind of snuff it out. So what happens often when there is uncertainty, stuff starts going on in your head, like, where's my next deal going to come from? How am I going to get leads? What's going to happen if the stock market continues to go down? What happens next? So the biggest decisions you will make will require you to take action in the face of ambiguity. So we are hardwired with fear. So the amygdala in our brains triggers a cascade of physiological and psychological impulses, a hyper alertness, fear, anxiety. So we are wired with fight or flight. Uncertainty leads to fear, which then leads to judgment. So we start to question. I sent this out in our CMA a day email last night, is that be super guarded with your thoughts as you get through all the stuff you're hearing on social media and on the news. Your success as a real estate professional will come down to your ability to guard your thoughts around what is happening out there right now. So there's two sides of fear. Number one, there's fog, that you're hearing all this stuff and you turn on the TV and it's not good. Anything you hear on TV is not good. So your brain starts to develop a fog. Like that's fear. Like you're frozen. I don't know what to do yet. Next. Or it could turn into fuel, that you could say, this is an awesome opportunity, because honestly, it is. If you can learn to control your thoughts and thrive in uncertainty, then everything that's happening now is fuel. So, how do we make our journey more enjoyable so that we can make really good decisions while we're wading through these uncertain times? So, this is some of the reason why we have been super highly focused since January on helping you guys develop rituals. So rituals have an immense power, immense power. They are the magic for countering uncertainty, anxiety, and fear. Any daily ritual. Now, we've been helping you create some daily rituals, but you can create your own too. You can read every day. You can meditate. You can go for a walk every day. You can work out. You can work on your database every day. But it is immensely important to standardize a part of your day, a part of your week, a part of your month, and your year. The simple act of engaging in a ritual or a routine is a certainty anchor, because no matter what else is happening in the world, it doesn't matter. you have the certainty of this thing that you have to get to. By the way, these have been a huge theme since January. That number one, we've been doing our 12-week Algorithm course. If you didn't get a chance to dig into it, it is all about rituals and systems and checklists. So if you find that uncertainty is getting the best of you, go pull out your Algorithm workbook and go watch the recordings of the last 10 weeks of Algorithm classes and dig into the next 2 weeks that we're doing. These are certainty anchors. We've also been doing the CMA a day listing challenge. Same exact thing. Like, forget about what's happening in the world. Forget about what your balance is in your stock account. None of it you can control right now. But what you can control is reaching out to one person a day through the CMA a day listing challenge. All of this is about ritual. Secondly, build a hive. All bees in a hive serve a purpose. It is the survival of the colony. So go build your hive of people around you. If you have people around you that feed into your fears, there's a high likelihood that you're going to feed into your fears. So you have to surround yourself with people who can help you snap out of it. I said this in our Algorithm class this week, that you could be Tigger or you can be Eeyore. Eeyore sees the bad in everything. Think about how Eeyore's thinking about the stock market right now. He's like, oh my God, I'm losing everything. Nobody's happy. The world is coming to an end. Tigger's always happy. You want to be the Tigger. By the way, does anybody want to have Eeyore as their best friend? No, because it brings down your energy when you're around people like that. So build a hive of people that keep your vibration up. Remember that if you find that people are trying to get you down and trying to scare you about the market, that is because your bravery scares people. So your upbeat attitude, you're going and doing your rituals, CMA a day and attending classes, that scares people. And so when somebody makes a comment to you that is negative about all the good things you're doing, what they're really doing is making a comment about themselves. They're saying it to you, but it's really about them. And then you have to be able to train your brain. You have to recognize the warning signs. Like if you see yourself, I said this in the email I sent out last night for CMA a day. If you see that your thoughts are causing you to break routine or have negative self-talk, or that your social media stalking what other people are doing, or you can't eat, or you can't concentrate, you have to have an awareness that these are the warning signs of uncertainty and fear. And then you have to go out and prove yourself wrong. What do you believe is not possible for you? Start proving to yourself that you could do the things that you think you can't do. Unbelievable book that could change the way you think about everything is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. The one person we talk to all day, every day, is ourselves. And this is going to be, if you can keep those conversations where they should be, they will be the difference between success and failure. So when you find yourself in a negative energy or negative thoughts, step outside your own body and say, okay, if I wanted to be this person who sees the good in everything, who finds the opportunity in everything, how would that person think about this whole situation? And begin visualizing, if you actually were the one that thought like that, what could your future look like? Lots of things you can do to help ground yourself in times of uncertainty, such as meditation. And the biggest thing, the number one, super easy way to change your energy and your thoughts is focused gratitude. Every single day, regardless of what is happening in the world around you or in the market, none of it matters. None, zero of what you see on the news, what you see on social media posts, what you see on Google, zero of that will have any effect on your business unless you choose to let it have effect on your business. But for most, that has nothing to do with your success in real estate. And then clean out the clutter. This is really important. Your environment, you become part of your own environment. So if your world, your desk, your car, your bedroom, your closet, if you live in a place that is surrounded by clutter, so too will your own mind live in clutter. So one simple step you could do is start cleaning up little teeny pieces of the environment around you. Unclutteredness creates harmony, not only in the environment, but thoughts and actions and intentions. The fear thrives in confusion. So last but not least, indemnify risk. So how can you indemnify yourself or protect yourself from risk with all the things that are going on? Well, we said if you're doing CMA a day, you're indemnifying yourself. If you're taking classes, like Algorand, or you're going and leaning into how to read the market report so you can explain to a consumer what is happening and why they should get off the fence right now. You are indemnifying your own risk to what's happening in the world. Make a better listing presentation, make a better buyer presentation, learn scripts, practice your scripts on video, host classes for buyers and sellers where you develop better scripts for demystifying the market for people. Build a toolbox of materials to share with clients. So anytime you see an article, good or bad, about the real estate market, it's a tool that you can use for your business. And practice gratitude during all of the changes. So you have to think about it. Is uncertainty and everything going on in the world today, is it going to dull your brilliance? It's really up to you. You have the ability to turn everything that's happening in the market today into a massive opportunity. So I know we're already running out of time. First, Craig, do you have any updates on sustainability stuff you want to talk about?
Yes, sure.
Got it.
Absolutely. I'll make this real brief because I know we're short for time, but I love kind of your coping mechanisms for dealing with uncertainty. I think those are fantastic to think about, particularly in this time. My personal coping mechanism in terms of politics is actually to get involved, Stacey, and I'm lucky enough to be involved with the NAR advocacy team. One of the things that our advocacy team is looking at, if the Tax Cut and Jobs Act does get extended, we all know here, I'm sure, that the capital gains tax exemptions for homeowners are $250,000 for a single family homeowner and $500,000 for two people selling a home. Those were passed in 1997 and they were never adjusted for inflation, Stacey. So we're looking at adding to the TCJA a $500,000 and $1 million capital gains exemption for homeowners selling. We think that could unleash more homes on the market. The other thing I'm working on, as you know, and I'll throw this in the chat, is there's a new act called the Green Appraisals Act, federal legislation sponsored by Representative Castine in Illinois and Senator Michael Bennett in Colorado, that would lay down the law on a requirement for qualified appraisers that have had substantial education in terms of this intersection of real estate and sustainability, and that when an appraiser makes a case for additional contributory value on those types of homes with significant high performance improvements, the mortgage underwriter would have to accept them. So just a lot of stuff happening in the space. I think this is something that NAR is going to stand behind, the Appraisal Institute is, and we're working on sponsors right now for that. And then I'll throw in the chat, the green designation, Stace, as you know, is something that I'm very committed to. I think every one of our teams at LAER, or if you're an individual realtor, you should get the green designation. There's a lot happening in this part of the marketplace. And I'm really excited that I'm having the opportunity to teach for the Center for Real Estate Development the first release of the new information on May 11th and 12th. So that's a virtual class. You can take it from any place in the United States. And I'll throw that into the chat. It's 2 full days. It's $260 for realtors, which is a $50 write-off. But then I'll be teaching it June 17th and 18th at Greater Boston Association of Realtors in Reading. That will be a live presentation, and that's $225, and it's live, which I think is so much. It's much more exciting for me as the person leading the discussion that you're actually generating real discussion, and I think for the students in the classroom. So I'll throw those links in. I hope folks, we're getting to a point, Stacy, where if you get these listings with significant high performance home improvements, a home with solar PV, you owe it to your clients to have the green designation, to be able to speak about this stuff, to be fluent in the language of how this actually works, so that you're an asset when you're going to sell the home. And my personal feeling, Stacy, is if you don't have knowledge and competence in this space, you should be really referring it to green designated agents that LAER, which we have plenty of, or partnering with them so that you can learn about this stuff. So I'll throw that into the chat, Stacy, and that's
100%. We have so much is changing in the world, and especially if you're doing any new construction, I mean, you have to understand what LEED certification is and things like that. And it's not difficult. It's a 2-day program that you can learn an immense amount of knowledge, but most importantly, you protect your customer from liability and you protect yourself and the brokerage simultaneously. So with that, I want to bring Farah on to give us some company updates.
Good morning, everyone. I will keep it really, really swift. The April print calendar is available at all LAER locations. If you're a remote agent, that's okay as well, because you can download the PDF of this at laeragentservices.com/classes -meetings-training, or you could use that cute little QR code in the bottom left corner as well. If you haven't been able to join us as yet, we are still doing a 12-week Algorand course. This is an amazing, amazing course taught by Stacy. We're going into our last 2 weeks. However, not to fret, these are all recorded. So if you missed any of them, that's totally okay. You'll be able to see the recordings as well. And then we missed this. I mean, it's not in front of us. It happened yesterday, but it was a phenomenal class. Thank you very much, Lisa Peruccio, for teaching it. We had a deposit link class, really important to use all of your resources to make your life easier. If you missed it, the recording is at the QR code in the bottom right corner on Facebook. And we'll be touching on this shortly as we have Bart from Real Scout joining us. We will be having Unlocking Real Scout, which is going to be taught by Bart Marciani on Tuesday, April 22nd, 12:30 to 1:30. Bart, we're going to come back to you in 2 seconds with this same exact slide, and then you'll be able to jump in as well. That will be on laerzoom.com. We're also having a Level Up with Lux VT. This was introduced by Stacy. Lux VT is a luxury marketing platform, and it is packed with high-end tools to help with your listings. This will also be on laerzoom.com Thursday, April 24th. And of course, the main event, we keep on chugging with this. We love it. We love it. This month, we will be featuring Sharon Narbonne. This is going to be an awesome 30-minute session. Definitely do not miss it. We mentioned this last month. I always want to point it out to you. These table tents should be all over every LAER office that we have. They are awesome. They have QR codes that will take you directly to happyagent@laerrealty.com. Or our counterpart in the title world for CTC, which is Agent Success at ctcclosings.com. Look for them at your nearest LAER office. And then just a quick look ahead at May. We have some really great educational training opportunities in May as well. We have sign language for real estate being taught by Ashley Gendreau. on May 13th. Boost by HomeSpotter is doing a presentation as well, so that'll be a great opportunity. We'll be having the main event with Catherine Masenheimer on the 28th, and of course, Monday the 26th is Memorial Day, so nice 3-day weekend.
All right, you want to jump in and have Bart present?
Sure, we can just, if you go 2 more slides down, should be 1 more and
Oops.
maybe 1 more.
Okay, there we go.
There you go, there you go. Welcome, Bart.
All right, hello. Thank you for having me today.
So do you have a presentation? You want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure, I do.
Okay, I'm going to
do,
stop sharing.
All right, I was going to do a brief overview of the Real Scout system, just kind of give everybody a high level look at Real Scout. If you're not using it yet, you'll learn a lot. If you are using Real Scout already, then it'll be somewhat of a review of the existing functionality. But excited to be with you today. So yeah, let me share my screen. And it's that window there. Here we go. Okay, so let me jump right in. I know we have limited time, so we'll try to make this quick. Okay, so we have a concept we call the engagement loop to help you understand how Real Scout fits into your business. So this is a really cool explainer video. It's only 3 minutes long. Let's watch this, and then I'll get into some details about how it works. And as Farah said, we're going to be doing another training in 2 weeks, so you can we can dive into all the details. All right, but check this video out first. This is pretty cool.
The consumers in your marketing database are at various stages of their real estate journey. Buyers, sellers, and the vast majority of them somewhere in between. And at every stage, it's critical for clients to access the most reliable and actionable information, such as which listings are hitting the market, what their home is worth, and how much their neighbor's home sold for. There's just one problem. Throughout their real estate journey, clients are using websites and apps that aren't powered by you, which means someone other than you is nurturing and converting business that could be yours. What if you could harvest more future transactions from your database? This model of automatically nurturing your database at each stage of the client lifecycle is called an engagement loop. Top producing agents are using these engagement loops powered by Real Scout to earn millions of dollars in commissions. Here's how it works. You can set buyers up for listing alerts on Real Scout the same way you would on the MLS. Unlike many IDX websites, you can create advanced searches using all the MLS criteria, or activate an integration to completely automate the process. Our award-winning listing alerts get to your clients within minutes, and they're personalized for each client using natural language. And when buyers click through, it's even more powerful than what clients expect from the portals. Because here, it's all about collaboration. Clients can rate listings, request showings, and even calculate commutes. They can leverage the power of AI to organize their favorite properties and compare them side by side, room by room. Plus, it all works great on mobile with Real Scout's powerful native apps. But what if one of your previous buyers is ready to sell? With Real Scout, your clients can receive monthly home value estimates and recent sales in the neighborhood. And to remind clients that professional advice is often more reliable than an algorithm, we'll direct them to you for a CMA. Your clients will soon treat your branded Real Scout account as the center of their real estate universe. As an agent, you'll have complete visibility into your pipeline. See if a buyer viewed a property several times or if a seller lead is ready to see what their home is worth. And with push notifications, you'll never miss a conversion moment. Real Scout is simple to implement, works alongside your existing website and CRM, and once you've added clients, it runs automatically. Need more convincing? Real Scout has been ranked best in class by media outlets and major real estate brands. Tom Ferry says Real Scout is for people paying attention not only to the now of real estate, but where it's going. and Asians using Real Scout are simply doing more business. Learn how you can automatically uncover ripe sales opportunities from your database. That's the power of an engagement loop. That's the power of Real Scout.
All right. Well, I hope that was helpful and kind of giving you a big picture overview. And again, if you've been using Real Scout, it's probably familiar to you. But Real Scout is a tool for nurturing your database with people with information that your contacts are going elsewhere to get. What I mean by that is that we know your contacts are going to Zillow, for example, to get the value of their house, right? And they're going to Realtor.com and Redfin and so forth to see properties for sale. But the problem is they're seeing other agents there who are trying to steal them away from you, right? They're basically advertising platforms. That's no good. So Real Scout is a private, safe environment where you and your contacts can collaborate about real estate, whether they're buying, selling, or anywhere in between. Yeah, Real Scout is the most effective platform to nurture them. Okay, and it does that automatically. That's what our latest version, Pro Plus, is all about. That's the one you folks have access to. So I'm going to give you, again, a brief overview of the system here. And again, we're going to go into a deep dive in a couple of weeks with a refresher training, okay? But if you're going to nurture your database, you got to get the contacts in there. And there are 3 ways to do that. As a visual, I know you work with all different types of people in your database. You got your current clients in your sphere of influence. Maybe you're working a farm as well. And perhaps you're getting leads through your website or those national search portals. Some agents do that. They normally flow into a database like a CRM. And now we have direct connections to many lead sources and CRMs so that you can connect an integration to get those contacts into Real Scout automatically. Second, you could import a spreadsheet. If you have a whole list of people, you can import it yourself and they'll be in your system immediately. And lastly, you can just enter people one by one manually. Okay, it's really easy. No matter how you get them into Real Scout, the next step is to nurture them. And we have 3 types of alerts to do that with. For your buyers, we have listing alerts. Now, these are what we call natural language listing alerts that pull the data directly from your MLS, whether you're in Massachusetts or maybe in one of the other offices, maybe in Maine, for example, we have that as well. So these listing alerts, we would send these instead of the MLS alerts because ours are going to get much better results. They have these natural language introductions that point out interesting characteristics of the home, and they get great response rates. And it takes them to a beautiful search experience so they can check out these homes with you. All right. Now, we also have home value alerts. These are for the homeowners in your database, potential sellers, your sphere of influence. Now, as the name suggests, these are going to keep your homeowners up to date with the value of their home. Now, these emails take them to a dashboard where they can see 3 different estimations of value of their home. And there's some competing estimates so that it prompts them to reach out to you and say, well, what the heck is the value of my home? And that's the entire purpose, is to get you folks more listing appointments. And I heard Stacy say earlier that you have a listing challenge, right? And so we actually have 4 different features that work in conjunction with each other to help you get more listings. And home value alerts is just one of them. I'm actually going to post a link here in the chat for another training webinar we just posted yesterday. It's a 15-minute training that was going to help you win and sell more listings. So you can take a look at that 15-minute training offline, but that's going to help you meet your listing challenge. All right. So, and again, home value alerts is a cornerstone of that process. We also have market activity alerts, which help people understand what's going on in their neighborhood, including how many buyers are searching. That's also a very important statistic. So there are 3 ways to set up these alerts. One, you can set them up manually. If you know a buyer's search criteria, for example, you can set up the listing alert using all of the MLS filters to create it as specifically as you like. If you know a homeowner's address, you can set up a home value alert for them manually. And a market activity alert can be created manually as well. But we have a feature called Auto Nurture that can do all this work for you. This is a really cool feature. And I have a really short video that explains what Auto Nurture does. It's only 47 seconds long. Take a look at this.
You just got a new lead. Oh, and here's another one. and another. And your database may have hundreds or thousands of potential buyers or sellers. Now there's a way to nurture all of them automatically. First, Real Scout invites clients to kick off their real estate journey with you. Then we pick up on clues about which listings they're interested in and share similar listings using natural language. And potential sellers receive updates on their home's value, providing them with the answers they used to go elsewhere to find. But from now on, all roads lead back to you.
All right. So auto nurture is going to set up these alerts for you, whether it's a buyer that needs a listing alert or a homeowner that needs a home value alert. The system will do it for you. And if it can't figure out what that contact needs, it puts them on a drip campaign to figure it out. And so as you saw in the video, the first email invites them to use the system. We keep track of what they're doing, and then we set them up with a listing alert or a home value alert automatically. It's a really great way to convert new leads, for example, that you might be getting from your website or other lead sources, and you can easily connect them. Speaking of new leads, we actually have a whole bunch of new features that allow you to attract leads using Real Scout. For example, there's a search links functionality that allow you to attract certain types of buyers in specific markets or niches. I have a short video on this, but I'm going to skip over that for right now because we don't have a lot of time. I will get into this on the 22nd, so come to that training and you'll learn exactly how you can use search links to get more business. But speaking of listings, we have a way that you can attract more sellers. There's a What's My Home Worth lead capture page that you folks could start sharing today and get more seller leads. And we also have ways that you could integrate Real Scout into your website, such as our new What's My Home Worth widget. If you want to put that on your website, you can attract more seller leads there, or maybe on your blog, put your listings on your website, search boxes, etc. So lots of cool ways to do that. Then no matter how people are using Real Scout with you, of course, you can monitor what they're doing. On your dashboard, you'll see if they're opening your emails or looking at properties, or if they have a question or want a CMA on their home. You can use that information to respond to them right here from the dashboard or from our mobile app. If you haven't checked it out recently, we made a lot of updates to the app so that you can communicate with your contacts more effectively, do searching while you're out in the field, and easily invite new contacts to use the app with you and set up home value alerts and listing alerts on the app also. So if you haven't downloaded the app, go to the App Store on either your iPhone or your Android device and download them today. Okay, so again, this was a brief overview. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but we'll be circling back on the 22nd to do that full hour-long training then.
All right, awesome stuff. And let me just see. Hold on.
It's a CMA a day challenge. I see somebody put in there. Okay, a CMA a day. Well, you know what? You could use Real Scout to put all your homeowners on home value alerts. And I guarantee you're going to start getting requests from people asking for CMAs. So this dovetails perfectly into your CMA a day challenge. Thank you, Farah. So my challenge to you is put your homeowners on home value alerts. And if you don't know how to do that, again, we're going to talk all about that on the 22nd. You can see on your screen here. Please show up for that. I know you're going to learn a lot, and I'm going to help you get more business. Okay?
So make sure you show up at this upcoming Real Scout training class. One of the things you'll see built into our buyer presentations on Canva is that we have a slide within our buyer presentation that says the truth about Zillow. Because if you are not talking about Zillow with your clients, I guarantee you're losing your business. You are losing business each year to Zillow. So as part of the conversation, when you tell them, here's all the reasons why you shouldn't be shopping on Zillow. Number one, you can't narrow your search. It's like $50,000 increments. Number two, they don't update right away. So you don't want your client falling in love with the house of their dreams only to find out it sold or went under agreement 2 weeks ago. So we have a truth about Zillow slide within the presentation, but then you have to replace it with something that the consumer feels is better than Zillow. The reason why your clients go to Zillow is because you're using an MLS search for the consumer to search real estate. So when you switch that, if you give them something that's actually better than Zillow, that it's a better search experience, and by the way, you're not going to get inundated with calls from real estate agents and mortgage brokers, then I promise you, your clients are going to be so thankful. And this is your Zillow. You become your own Zillow with Real Scout. So really important that you dig into this particular tool because it's a game changer. It saves you tens of thousands of dollars each year because your clients aren't going to be shopping for a home on Zillow.
Or looking at their home's value anymore.
Yes, 100%.
All
So,
right. So
all right.
thank you.
Thank you, Bart.
Thank you for having me. See you on the 22nd. Bye-bye.
All right. As always, you guys can go catch the rerun of today's class at youtube.com/LAER training. And that's basically it. In the next 30 days, if we can do anything for you, the best way to get help from our team is to email happyagent@laerrealty.com. We're here to support you. Thank you and have a great start to the spring market. Thanks, everyone.